Hey everyone, this is WobblyWallaby. Today I'll be providing my updated free-to-play Khalitzburg guide for Ragnarok Mobile. This build is capable of soloing Legend Museum 1-2 and Isles 1-3. It can also do well on PSR and Palace of Ghost instances. This is the best DPS class for free-to-play players and works great without any MVP cards. Previously, in December 2024, I made a free-to-play guide with the 15% deposit version, so this is an updated build. I'll put a link in the description for the previous video if you're not quite there yet. Now, what changed since last time? First, I got more mini cards and star cards to help with my damage. Then, with the introduction of equipment memory, that was great for adding more attack percentage. Next, my deposit went from 15% to 20%, so that helped as well. So with the investments so far, I'd say this is more of a mid-game account. I'll begin first with Museum 2F. I wasn't able to clear this last time, so I wanted to show it this time with this build. I cast Prepare for Elite, then lead the boss away from the chess pieces. I try to pick up petals whenever I can and also dodge the damage. The great thing about Khalitzburg is even if you're running around, your puppets can still do damage as well as the rose petals that are exploding around. Make sure you have Wishflower ready to burst down the rook. Once the boss is near 60%, you need to have this skill ready to go. When the rook comes out, burst down with Whisper of Rose and also Wishflower. Once the rook is down, be careful since your anti-death is probably on cooldown. Play it safe and run around if necessary. Then attack when you feel safe. When the boss is nearing 30%, make sure you have Wishflower ready again. The rook comes out and I try to burst it down. The rook goes down, which is great, so for the final phase, just play it safe. The boss goes down, which is fantastic. I've attempted this on my more whale account and it's quite hard for some other classes, so the fact that this free-to-play account can do it with 20% deposit is quite an achievement. Here's a brief overview of my gear. Next is my footage for Legend Museum 1F. I cast Prepare for Elite and run towards the dragon. Khalitzburg's debuff and fast attacking AoE can shred through the bosses. Even though this is a free-to-play account, it does quite well. The class has been a safe bet and is a class I frequently recommend to any free-to-play player in the game if you want an unfair DPS class. She lacks survivability, but with the tier 5 shadow equipment at 50% progress, it gives her more anti-death options in addition to the foods. The dragon goes down pretty quickly, which is great. Next, here's my gear. First is Dragon Bone Shield for the physical damage increase. The ideal enchant here is Armor Breaking. For card, I used Alice Star card for more damage to MVP and mini monsters. Next is Dream Meter's Disguise for the elemental damage increase. I often use fire or water in most instances, so this comes in handy. For ideal enchants, it is physical damage increase. Next for card, I use the Archer Skeleton Star card for the attack percentage. For memory attribute, I use attack plus 2%. Next for garment, I use Leader's Pauldron for the ignore defense and skill damage. For ideal enchant, it would be physical damage increase, which is unfortunate that I don't have here. Next for card, I use the Vagabond Wolf Star card for the attack percentage based on strength. Next for footgear, I use the Dragon Slayer Warp Boots for the attack percentage and penetration percentage. For ideal enchants, it would be physical damage increase, which I unfortunately don't have here. As for card, I use the Flute Player Star card, which is great for movement speed to help dodge stuff. Next for accessories, I use the Essence of Scorching Flame. I either use the flame accessories for more fire attack percentage, or I use the water accessory for more water attack percentage. For ideal enchant, it is Sharp Blade or the physical damage increase. Here I'm using the Scarecrow card. Scarecrow card is great against Lord of House of Cards and the Dragon in PSR. Malguai card is also great against Ghost targets in Thanatos Tower 3, Museum Floor 2, and Isles Floor 2. Santa Porn card is also great against Dark targets too, for example in Oracle Dungeon, TTL, Dark Finale, and if the Saint converts the target to Dark. Next is Ultraman, which is good for Lord of House of Cards, Demonic Overseer, Kane, and Thanatos. And against general targets, the Moonlight Tendrillion Star card is great. Next, for these accessories, attack percentage is used for the memory attribute. Next, for weapon, Time of Birth would be the best. The ideal enchant is Sharp Blade or physical damage increase. Next, for card, the Menorah Star card is great for dealing with large bosses. For memory attribute, I use 2% attack. Next, for headwear, the Homestead of Snowy Owl is great for the elemental damage and also the extra damage against the inferior element. The ideal enchant here is attack. For card, the Andre Star card is great for the penetration percentage. Next, for face, Winter Crown is used for the skill damage. The ideal enchant here is physical damage increase, which unfortunately I couldn't get here. Next is the Mouth Honey Bunny for the skill damage. The ideal enchant here is attack. Next is the back Chicken Axe that has a nice damage boost to monsters and a target damage increasing debuff. The ideal enchant here is attack. Next for tail, it's too late for the skill damage. The ideal enchant here is Sharp Blade or physical damage increase. Next for shadow equipment, first raw of hand, Skeleton Bracer is good for the anti-death. Get to tier 5 and 50% perk is activated. I think this is the most important shadow equipment if you have to focus on one. Next I use the Chosen's Armor for the attack and the combo with Ring of Loyalty. Ideally, you can use the Perseverance Armor. Next is the White Duke's Manteau for the Ignore defense and skill damage. Next is St. Mary's Cloth Shoes for the attack percentage. For accessories, I use the Ring of Contract for the attack percentage. Next is Ring of Loyalty for the 5% attack combo with the Chosen's Armor. Next for offensive Oracle Mirror, I use the Combustible Knife for the penetration percentage. Next for the defensive Oracle Mirror, I use the Meteorite Armor. Next for Relic, I use Raise Size for the attack and the attack percentage. Next for equipment memory, for free-to-play players, these special ones will be hard to get. The attack one is the most important, and you should get level 10 for as many as you can to get the attack percentage, but I'll still provide my suggestions for the defensive and special one too. First is Sacre, I'd recommend physical attack percentage. Next for Sacre's 2, again, physical attack percentage. Next for Memory of Wartime Starlight, the physical attack percentage once again. Next, here are the stats with self buffs and food. I have 19,388 attack, 98.5% penetration, 72.5% skill damage increase, 210.4% ignore defense, and finally 114% fire damage increase. For attributes, choose strength, then agility, since your wishflower scales from that, and the rest into Vit. Next is a stat breakdown. First are the ideal enchants for various instances. Luckily, Khalitzburg has no problem with skill damage, ignore defense, and penetration percentage. It is one of the reasons why she's so busted. For 98.5% penetration, this is the breakdown of all my sources. The skill Flower of Desperation is insane since it adds 30%. Next for 72.5% skill damage, this is the breakdown of all these sources. Again, this skill Flower of Desperation adds 30%, which is insane. Next for 210% ignore defense, this is the breakdown of all these sources. The skill Blossom Tea is quite amazing since it takes penetration percentage and turns it into ignore defense. That's why it's so easy to get ignore defense for Khalitzburg. Next for 114% fire damage, this is the breakdown of all these sources. The ancient equipment armor and accessories make a big difference. Next are the foods I take. I eat Strength B, Agi B, Int B, and Vit B. For example, against a dragon I eat the Flame Heart to do more damage to the undead dragon. Next I use the Slow Attack Alloy for 100 raw attack. Then I use the normal precision stone for dealing with the weapon penalty against large sized monsters, and for anti-death I use 6 Prontera Royal Salads. Next are my advanced runes. You need to get all these second lines activated, that is your focus. First is my Memory of Petal Rune. Next my Secret Language Rose Star Rune. Next Rose Character Star Rune. Next Echo of Petals Rune. Next Wishflower Star Rune. And finally the Flower Desperation Rune. This ideally has a high first line and it's worth the reroll. For Arcane Runes, I use the War Preparedness for the HP shield, the Spirit Rune for SP recovery since she uses a lot of SP, and the White Blade Rune for more damage to a target standing alone. Next for skills I prepare for Elite. I cast this before every battle and during to rebuff. I have Whisper of Rose for AoE and burst, then Wish Flower for more burst, Memory of Petals in case of manual cast, First Aid to deal with Archangeline's debuff, and Echo of Petals for precasting petals on the floor so you can pick them up to do more damage. For auto, I use Memory of Petals, Echo of Petals, and Prepare for Elite. Inside Prepare for Elite I have Flower Desperation, Night of Glory, and Incarnation of Rose, which summons a puppet and requires 7 out of 7 core hero passive. Next is the Lost Isles 1-3 footage. After I'll discuss how it does in PSR and Palace of Ghost. For the Legend Golem, use Water Accessories and Water Converter. The damage is high and I shred through the Golem quite quickly. Make sure you stay away from his rock summons. Here's the gear briefly to show what I changed. Next for floor 2, this boss is pretty easy as well. Just use the Malguai card as an accessory in order to do more damage to it. Also move around to get the petals. Wishflower also can give some invulnerability, so it's nice to cast this to get away from some of the damage. The boss goes down. Here's the brief overview again. Now next is floor 3, that took quite a few attempts. It is still quite challenging. Phase 1 is not too bad, you can take him down pretty fast to 70%. And phase 2 is where it gets more chaotic. First you have to take down the summoned boss. Then take down the corrupted energy orb. Make sure you have your hand on the potions to also heal up since this is the easiest part to die. Then burst down the heart, Wishflower is a good option here. For the final phase, use hit and run to avoid getting hit. I've died so many times if I stay too close to him. It's better to just run away when you have a chance in order to not get hit by stuff. The boss goes down, which is fantastic. So he definitely dealt with these legend instances quite well, but how about some of the other newer stuff? Next is some footage for Palace of Ghost, and I'm doing Dark Finale. The important thing to note is with these new instances, the debuff is really good since it allows her to actually hurt the bosses. Many other classes are too slow to take down these bosses and lack good debuffs, but even as a free-to-play player I'm able to chip away at this boss. It'll take a while, but it's still better than nothing. And the same with PSR, Khalitzburg as a free-to-play player can hurt the dragon, although it will take quite a bit of time, it's still better than nothing. So if you're looking for a busted class to play as a free-to-play player, make sure you try out Khalitzburg. I hope I convinced you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Here's the video that I recommend, and if you want more Ragnarok mobile videos, check out this playlist over here.